In terms of the names, man, first one, Siaki Ika. Interior, little nose tackle action, man. The second guy they have brought in, Anton Harrison. When that's the tackle out of Oklahoma. And then the third guy that I wanted to talk about for today was good old Osiris Torrance. With these three players, man, obviously we know these potentially are those targets in that first round, second round time frame, right? All of these dudes have been talked about in that vein. So with that, man, it's just, like I said, going back to this conversation of these positions, of these three players, they're all at different spots. But as we said earlier, we felt like tackle was the one that makes the most sense still right now. But we still see them bringing in guards, interior D linemen and stuff like that. And that's the part where I'm just kind of like back and forth about these type of players being definitive upgrades, or these type of players being worth a 32 overall or worth that 49th overall, you know? Because I don't think any of these three particularly go past that. And some of these names that they've been looking at specifically, you're like, bro, these are still early caliber type guys.
Yeah. So I think with any of them, I don't want Osiris. I don't want him.
So I'm just completely on the guard train.
Right,
he
probably
plays
is
right though. He plays right though.
He probably is the best guard in this draft. He's
a
damn good player. But if we didn't pick up all the guys that we did in free agency, sure. But we did what we did. And the roster looks like what it is right now, and we are completely fine at the guard position. And we're fine at the guard position for not only this year, but also next year.
Yeah.
Because I believe James Daniel has a 3-year deal.
He did.
So he's going to be on the roster next
Mason
year.
Was on a 2.
Sayum Alu just signed a 3-year deal. We're fine.
Then Herbig was a 2-year, right?
Yeah, 2 for 8,
Yeah,
4
2 for
apiece.
8.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I think it would be very foolish to take Osiris.
Yeah,
unless he fell to us in the 4th round, sure. But that's not happening.
Yeah, I was about to say he fell for 32.
Yeah. Ika and Harrison, I could see it. But where? I don't feel comfortable at 32.
For either?
Because
Fair enough.
I feel like there's going to be some good players potentially there at 32, like a Drew Sanders, maybe a Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
Trent Simpson, we talked about him. Maybe one of these tier 2 cornerbacks if we don't trade up for Gonzalez.
Okay.
I don't want to miss out on that for a Harrison who, again, we don't know if he's beating out Dan Moore. Especially, like, he's tier 2 of these offensive linemen we're talking about.
Outside, like, Broderick Jones is that, to me, the last of that tier 1 group. Like I said, Harrison, I flirt with. Darnell Wright, I flirt with. But them, to me, are still, like, that second wave behind Broderick, Paris, and Skronsky.
Yeah.
Like, those three.
So I wouldn't mind him at 49. 32 means I think you're passing up of someone of high quality and that can really impact your team not only this year but in the long term. But if you want to pick him 49, make the hot seat a little bit warmer for Dan Moore, develop him. Like, I think if we got him at 49, we would accept that he's coming in as the backup. Maybe they do compete or whatnot.
Because the thing is this, Anton does have certain things to show up on tape that makes you feel like he could be an upgrade. But then it's parts where you're talking about the consistency and you're talking about him translating from collegiate level to the NFL versus a guy that has not missed a start in the first 2 years of his professional career. That, to me, is the part where I feel like we kind of overlook it and forget that part. That's the big hang up between why I don't know if Anton Harrison is going to just come in here and be able to do that to clearly beat him out. Because Dan Moore understands that part of it, and that's why he's been able to start as much. But he is talented. Anton Harrison,
that's what I mean. I think he'd be a good guy to
Yeah.
potentially push Dan Moore and say, like, hey, this isn't completely secure here. We're bringing in a talented guy, and if things go awry this season with you at left tackle, especially with us building out the rest of the offensive line, like, we've upgraded pretty much everywhere across the board over these last 2 seasons. So if you're going to be our weakest link, we're going to have someone here that's going to push you.
With you.
Yeah. I mean, second round pick, like, that's still decent draft capital.
That's a higher than when Dan Moore came in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be fine at 49, especially if you get 2 solid guys at 17 and 32, whether it's corner, whether it's the middle linebacker we're talking about, whether it is a receiver. And then with Ika, I feel the same way. I feel like 32 is, again, if we didn't address D-line like we did this free agency, then I'm a little bit more for it. 32 makes more sense, even though he's only going to maybe be on the field for 30% of the time.
Yeah.
It's just the specific skill set he has and him potentially being like our next Casey Hampton. That's intriguing. But with all these defensive line pickups and him, again, only playing 34% of the time, I just don't know if it makes sense at 32. 49?
Yeah.
Cool. I think I'd be okay with it.
That was the part for me that made it hard to justify. If Ika is playing 60 to 70% of the snaps, it's a lot easier to talk myself into it. If he's the full-time 3-down dude like a Cam Hayward, it's easy to talk myself into it. But knowing that he specifically is the truest of true nose tackles of the group, the guy that we've talked about, I've been on record multiple times saying, you don't want him playing more than that. You do not want him playing a ton of snaps, man, because that's when his quality decreases drastically. Yeah, it's hard to justify that. That's why I think the Jalen Carter, when you brought that up, made it a little bit more intriguing because he fits some of that like unicorn type. He can give you elite level production in there up and down that line. Even though we've already worked on the trenches, he potentially is worth going back in there for. But yeah, Siaki, I like his game, man. But yeah, with the Braden Fioku and then turning around and bringing in the Armand Watts, it's just like almost overkill. It would feel like to have another big body interior nose tackle who is best suited to play nose tackle.
Hey, you're drafting at 32.
Right.
Like if you're bringing in an Ika and you just get him for free. That's fine.
Yeah,
but
I don't have
you drafting him at 32 means you're
Yeah.
not drafting someone else like a Drew Sanders or maybe a Zay Flowers, and that'd be frustrating considering what we've done on the offensive line this whole free agency. Like we're fine. Like we'll be fine at that position this season. I think as is, and that's going back to what we were talking about earlier. I don't think I'd be happy with any defensive lineman early, but if you're gonna do it. I guess 49 with Ika makes more sense than some of the other guys just because of his specific skill set.
Yeah,
that's like rare to find, him being that nose tackle.
Does he sit there at 49, do you think?
I don't know. Maybe. I could see him falling.
Yeah, because of the style, because of what he is as a player. Yeah.
But outside of that, again, I don't really want to take D-line that early. I don't. Just in general.
Yes, nah.
I'm pretty locked in on
I
corner,
guess you might be right with that, man.
Corner, receiver, and left tackle. I think my top three. Oh, no. And I'm sorry. Inside linebacker. Those are my four. Those are the four positions I would want filled in our first four picks.
In that order?
No order.
Okay.
No order specific. Just depends on the players.
Well, then we're probably on the same page then, yeah, because I'm over here like tackle, middle linebacker, third rusher, slot receiver. Did I say corner?
Yeah, corner.
I
I mean, if we trade up for Gonzalez, no. Hey, we lose a pick, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. Man, what if we got Gonzalez? We trade up, so we lose pick 49. Gonzalez, Drew Sanders. I guess we'd have to. I don't know. I guess we just don't address. We just don't address O-line at the first.
I'm gonna say, are we doing the
rounds.
Gonzalez at the 9, or is this the one where we're trading for? Was he said 17? What did he say?
Could we go Gonzalez, Flowers?
This one with the Eagles. Yeah. Are you doing the Eagles hypothetical or the Bears hypothetical? Because the Bears hypothetical had us getting the 94th pick back. So maybe that's where you get your O-lineman at.
That would be cool.
Yeah. If it's the Bears scenario, we're up to the 9th spot. We don't get anything in return though.
How about Gonzalez, Zay Flowers, Overshown?
I love it.
You just roll with Dan Moore.
I'm an Overshown guy.
You roll with Dan Moore.
I'm an Overshown guy.
Because that would be your first, second, and third round pick right there.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be bad.
As long as Dan Moore keeps heading in the right direction, we good.
Yeah, because I don't know. Are any of these decent linemen going to be available in round 3 like that? I don't know. Like a mock? I don't think they are. I think you missed your window
like after
the second round.
Yeah.
To actually get someone who you feel like could push Dan Moore, could potentially be the long-term solution.
Mm-hmm.
I think you missed that.
I'm really trying to think on it. Yeah.
I think you're just bringing in depth at that point, which isn't a bad thing.
Even though we say that, but Dan Moore came in as a depth option, right? It was supposed to be.
It was up in the.
Shoots.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It was up in the air because we lost Al.
And
then you're right, we re-signed Banner, but
'Cause
he
we
was
paid him a little
initially
nicer.
slotted to be the starting right tackle. Then he
Yes.
got hurt, and then when we signed him, we were like, oh, do we move him to left because of the money and stuff? And right, we had Chooks. There was uncertainty
yeah,
there.
128th overall.
I don't
That
think
wasn't even
I don't
crazy
think anyone
high.
thought Dan Moore was
Yeah.
gonna be our day one starter.
Right.
You're right.
And he's been the starter ever since, man.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't find that value in there. That's what I'm saying, man. Maybe you do find your starter at 30. I mean, at 80. He's not 30 at 80.
We got Dotson in the fourth.
He was another one. Yeah, good call.
He was good value.
Mm-hmm. He didn't start day one, but he started a couple games as rookie season.
Chooks, when we get him in the third.
Was he third or second? No, I think he was third.
He didn't start year one though.
Nah.
Yeah,
Because
maybe he
his
could
first
get
2
some
years,
guys.
he had like a spot start here and there, but matched up well with certain players. That's what it was. Because he had the Von Miller one.
I remember
and
that.
J.J. Watt one.
I remember
And that's
that.
when we were like, whoa, okay. Hey, man, check out the young boy. He's starting to, he matching up well with some of these dudes.
Right.
Yeah.
But either way, I think once you get past the second, if you are taking a left tackle, they're just doing that. Their depth this year, like you're not actually thinking it's a real competition this year that he's going to replace Dan Moore week one. Whereas maybe in the first or second, depending on how the competition goes, if the dude shows out, maybe there's that. I just feel more comfortable with a competition if you're drafting them in the second round as opposed to the first with a O lineman like that. Because I feel like first round, if you're outside of Skoronski, I feel like everyone's competing. Skoronski, it's his job, right?
I feel like it'd be his.
You'd have to trade up to get him.
But
So
that's the
you're
other part.
giving him the spot.
But yeah, if we're going up to 9 or 10, those are the two. It's going to be a Skoronski, Paris Johnson, or I don't think you're moving up that high for Broderick, or it's going to be a Gonzalez, or maybe a Witherspoon. I don't know who else you moving up that high to get.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.